Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another week of Ag Literacy with Kayla. This week's book is The Empire State Investigator, The Applesauce Bandit, written by Juleah Tolosky and Heather Davis, illustrated by Danielle George. Summer was coming to an end in the little town of Sandy Falls, New York, and that meant the first day of school was just around the corner. Lily was excited to have Miss Becker as her new teacher because her class was the only one in the whole school which published its own newspaper. Lily had spent her entire summer vacation practicing her observation skills, using her special reporter's notebook and a name badge made out of an index card. She imagined what story she would report on first. Maybe she would discover a fossil in the sandbox, or with a little help, she might even be able to solve the mystery of the Tuesday lunch in the cafeteria. On the first day of school, Lily woke up early. She checked her backpack twice to make sure she had everything she needed to start the year off right. A reporter was always prepared, she told herself, and she was ready to prove that she should be the lead reporter of The Investigator. Just as the school bus came to a stop at the end of the driveway, Lily's dad ran out of the house. "Did you forget something?" he asked. "Nope. I have my pencils, my reporter's notebook, and my name badge. I'm all set," Lily said confidently. "What about an apple for your teacher?" he said, pulling a bright red apple out of his coat pocket. Lily took the apple and waved goodbye to her dad. "That was a close one," she said as the bus drove away. When Lily leapt off the steps of the school bus, she almost ran into her best friend, Ty. "Hi, Ty," she cheered. "Hey, Lily, how was your summer?" "My summer was great," Lily said. "I practiced being a reporter." "A reporter?" Ty asked, confused. "All I practiced this summer was soccer." Lily made a face. "Ty, everybody knows The Investigator is the coolest thing in Miss Becker's class, and I'm going to be the lead reporter. You'll see." Lily and Ty smiled as they walked into their new classroom. It was bright and cheery, just like Miss Becker. One corner had a rug and a big chair for story time, and there were two computers near the windows with a sign that said, "Newsroom." "Come on, Lily, we have to give Miss Becker our apples," Ty said, making his way to the front of the class. Miss Becker's desk already had a huge pyramid of apples. Some were dark red, others were lighter, gold, and some were even green. Sitting next to the pyramid was a snack pack of applesauce. Lily wondered who brought the applesauce. Didn't they know they were supposed to bring an apple? Lily liked Miss Becker so much that she was almost disappointed when it was time for recess. She grabbed her notebook and followed the rest of the class out to the playground. "Lily, Lily, come play Foursquare with us," Gina called, waving towards the blacktop. "Okay," Lily said, "but I have to keep my notebook close by in case something newsworthy happens." Gina served the ball into Amy's square, and Amy missed on the first try. "That didn't count. I got hit with something," Amy yelled. Lily looked around and noticed what looked like a very small apple laying at Amy's feet. "Look, it's a crab apple. The boys are throwing them," she announced, grabbing her reporter's notebook. "You better stop," Gina said, charging the group of boys. Lily took notes. Lily managed to fill 2 whole pages of her reporter's notebook with things she noticed during recess. When recess ended, she walked with Ty back to the classroom. She knew if she could show Miss Becker what she had observed, she would surely become the lead reporter. Before she could talk to her teacher, however, she noticed something was wrong. Something was missing. She looked at the room and realized that the missing object could be the clue to solving a mystery. Solving a mystery and becoming the greatest reporter ever to come out of the 2nd grade. If she could only figure out what it was. "Oh my gosh!" Lily grabbed Ty's arm. "Look! The applesauce that had been sitting on Miss Becker's desk had mysteriously disappeared. Maybe Miss Becker ate it, Ty pointed out. Lily didn't believe Miss Becker had eaten the applesauce, and she was determined to find the thief. No, the Applesauce Bandit. Lily, are you sure there really is an applesauce bandit? Ty asked as they sat down at the lunch table. Yes, she nodded, and we're going to catch him. Ty gave her a look. Yes, every great reporter needs an assistant, Lily said. Partner, she said when Ty gave her a look. Are you planning to catch them? Good question. The only thing I know about applesauce is that it comes from apples, Lily said, discouraged. It's in the name. Well, if there really is a bandit, and he, or she, Lily interrupted, or she, Ty allowed, is going after applesauce, which is made from apples. We just need to get to the root of the problem. A good reporter does their research first. I know just the place, Lily said with her finger raised. Meet me in the library after school. I need a new notebook, Lily sighed, looking over the piles of books. There's so much about apples that I never knew. At least now we have a place to start, Ty offered, holding up a drawing he'd copied from a book. The seed. Yeah, but some apple trees take 3 to 5 years to grow an apple after it's planted, Lily pointed to her own notebook. That means trees growing their first apples now were planted way back when your baby brother was born. Okay, Ty allowed. Starting at a seed would take a long time, so we should begin with an apple tree. There's an apple tree at my Gram's house, Lily exclaimed. She flipped her notebook shut. Let's go. Maybe she'll know something about the Applesauce Bandit, and she'll give us a snack. Thanks, Gram, Lily smiled at her grandmother as she set a slice of apple pie in front of her. You're welcome, Gram said. Gram, you make the best apple pie in the whole state of New York, right? Her grandmother laughed and nodded. My pies have won many ribbons at the Clinton County Fair, she said proudly. And last year, my applesauce did too. Applesauce? Ty leaned over and poked Lily with a loud whisper. Would you like some? Gram walked over to the cupboards and pulled out a jar filled with cinnamon-flavored applesauce. Lily helped make this batch last fall, she said. That's right, Gram nodded. Last year we spent a whole Saturday canning and making 25 jars of applesauce. Only 25 jars? Ty asked. That's not very many. Gram laughed. Well, I only have one apple tree out there. Ty pointed out the window. And it takes a lot of fresh apples and a lot of time and effort to make and can applesauce each year. Lily took a deep breath. Gram, she said seriously, someone is stealing applesauce. Ty and I are trying to find the thief. We're going to write an article for the paper. Oh my, Gram said. Are you sure? Yes, Ty insisted. And you might be next. Well, I don't know, Gram said thoughtfully. My little tree out back products a lot of apples, but if someone were trying to steal apples, I bet they'd go to an apple orchard instead. My mom is going to be mad if I'm late for dinner, Ty said, shifting under the weight of his backpack. You can bring her apples to make her happy, Lily said, her own backpack full of apples they'd picked from Gram's yard. They're healthy. She won't be happy because she won't know where I am, Ty pointed out. You told your Gram we were going straight home, you said. Lily sighed. Ty, we are reporters, she explained. That means we have to be detectives. Sometimes, and this is one of those times. I just don't think we need to be detectives right now, Ty pointed out. Empire Apple Orchard, that's it. Lily ignored him and pointed at a sign on the road. Remember, Graham says an orchard is like a tree farm. I remember, Ty said, following her as she snuck along the side of the big red building of the orchard used to store apples. Whoa, he said, looking at the rows and rows of large trees with brightly covered apples hanging from their branches. There, Lily yelled, seeing a man climbing up a ladder into one of the trees. She dropped her backpack and ran as fast as she could towards the tree. It's the Applesauce Bandit! Lily, wait! Ty ran after her. What are you doing? Stop, thief! Lily yelled. What's going on here? The orchard owner asked, finding one of his best employees trapped on a ladder by two second graders. Mr. Bushy, Lily greeted the man. You're so lucky we're here. Ty and I stopped this man from stealing your apples. I wasn't stealing them, the man tried to explain. That's what he tried to tell us, too, Ty said with his arms crossed over his chest. Yet, Lily found him with a big basket full of apples. Mr. Bushy smiled. This is George, and he isn't stealing. He's helping to harvest the apples. Look at all these trees. In the fall, there is too much work for one set of hands. I'm lucky to have workers like George who spend hours and hours picking the apples so that we can gather them all up before they go bad or it gets too cold. A lot of the farms have machines to harvest crops, but in an apple orchard, we still pick our apples. We're sorry, George, Lily said, letting the man off the ladder. I thought you were stealing, but it sounds like you're Mr. Bushy's most important employee. George and his workers are very important, Mr. Bushy said, but some of the most important people who work at the orchard aren't people at all. They're not? Ty asked, looking to where he could see several other people working in the rows of the trees beyond them. No, they're not, George said. My coworkers and I only help Mr. Bushy when it's time to harvest the apples. But in the spring, there is another group that does most of the work around here. In fact, they're still here, even if they aren't working right now. Well, I hope you aren't paying them, Lily said. Mr. Bushy laughed. I don't have to pay these special workers. Have you ever seen a honeybee? Yes, and I don't like them, Ty said quickly. They sting you. Honeybees actually only sting you when you scare them. But they do have a very important job here in this orchard. Apples can only grow when honeybees pollinated their blossoms. They did what? Lily asked. They pollinated. In the spring, our apple trees are covered with beautiful white and pink flowers. The honeybees fly from flower to flower, collecting nectar to eat and carry pollen from flower to flower as well. We wouldn't have a single apple if bees didn't do that work for us. On top of that, they make honey in their hives. Where are the hives? I don't see them. Ty looked up into the branches of the trees nearby. Right there. George pointed to the big square box that sat slightly off the ground. Mr. Bushy gives them this hive to live in so they don't have to build their own. That way, the bees have more time to pollinate the blossoms and make honey. So what brought you all the way to my orchard anyway? Mr. Bushy asked after they let George get back to work. I just wanted to stop the Applesauce Bandit so badly. The what? Mr. Bushy asked. Someone stole our teacher's applesauce, Ty told him. Lily and I are trying to catch who did it. We started at the library, then we saw a tree, and now we're here at this huge orchard, and there is still no sign of the bandit anywhere. I bet you aren't even missing a single apple out of your whole orchard. Actually, Mr. Bushy said, our storage facility is almost completely empty. The Applesauce Bandit strikes again, Lily cheered. It's empty, Mr. Bushy continued, because we've been shipping our apples to the processing plant in Maryville. There they turn them into applesauce. I don't know if they have had any problems with the Applesauce Bandit there, but I bet they'd let you look around. The next day, the truck arrived at the Empire Apple Orchard to carry the last of the apples Mr. Bushy's employees had picked to the processing plant. After checking to make sure the back of the truck was filled with apples, Lily and Ty climbed up and sit in the seats high above the road behind the huge windshield. Even the short drive to Maryville felt like an adventure. When the truck pulled into the parking lot, there were trucks from other orchards unloading apples already. "Look, Lily," Ty pointed out. On the side of the large building was painted the same logo that came from the package of applesauce his mom kept in the cupboard at home. "The Applesauce Bandit has got to be here," Lily insisted. "Lily, Ty, I'd like to introduce you to my friend, Mr. Smith. Miss Smith. She is in charge of this processing plant as she has agreed to take you on a tour today," Mr. Bushy said. "What's on your head?" Lily asked Miss Smith. "Well, here at Maryville Processing Plant, we make things people eat, so we have to be very careful, to be safe, and make sure things are very clean. I'm wearing a hairnet, and everyone will wear one when we get inside." Lily and Ty followed Miss Smith inside and saw large machines cutting up apples. They also saw big silver tanks where the apple pieces were being cooked, pureed, and combined with flavors and spices. When everyone had on gloves and hairnets, Miss Smith took them down to be by all the workers. The applesauce came out of different colors: light brown for plain and dark, brown for cinnamon. Some applesauce was even purple and flavored to taste like berries. A machine squirted the finished applesauce into small little cups, and another stamped the foil lids onto them. "Wait, where are they taking it?" Lily asked, watching the workers using a forklift to drive huge stacks of boxed applesauce onto a truck. "Maybe this was where the Applesauce Bandit got his start." Miss Smith smiled. "The trucks deliver the applesauce to grocery stores for moms and dads to buy for your lunches. The applesauce sure has a long trip from the tree to your table, doesn't it?" "Wow," Ty said. "There's a lot of work involved. I didn't know so many people had to work so hard to make a simple little snack." Mr. Bushy nodded. "Processing plants, like these, make so much applesauce because states like New York grow so many apples than other states. Only one state in the entire nation grows more apples than we do. We're lucky to live in a state with such great orchards, but processing the apples makes it possible for more people to enjoy them." "Thank you, Lily." "Thank you," Lily said at the end of the tour, but she sounded discouraged. "What's the matter?" "Well, it's really nice of you to help us," Lily said, "but now I really don't know who the Applesauce Bandit is." "Who?" Miss Smith asked. Lily quickly retold the story of the bandit. "You said your teacher's name is Miss Becker?" Miss Smith checked. "Yes, ma'am." Lily nodded. Miss Smith smiled. "Rebecca," she called, waving to a young woman standing over by the processing line. "Miss Becker!" Ty exclaimed. "What are you doing here?" "Hello, Ty and Lily," Miss Becker said. "I'm helping out my granny today. I like to help make new flavors," she smiled, gesturing to Miss Smith. "What are you doing here?" "They're trying to solve a mystery about an applesauce bandit," Miss Smith said. "Someone who stole your applesauce." "My applesauce?" Miss Becker asked, confused. "During recess the other day," Lily said, "we wanted to solve the mystery and write the best article so we could be the reporters for the investigator." Miss Becker smiled. "I ate that applesauce for a snack while you were all on the playground," she said. "What?" Lily cried. "Didn't I say that?" Ty looked at Lily. "You mean there's no Applesauce Bandit at all? And we're never going to write an article for the newspaper?" "Well, there is no Applesauce Bandit, unless it's me," Miss Becker smiled. "But I wouldn't say you won't get to write an article. The best reporters ask questions and find answers, and it looks like you two are going to make some of the greatest reporters our paper has ever seen. Do you really mean it? Lily asked. I mean it, Miss Becker nodded. Maybe you and Ty could write an article about all you learned about apples for our first issue of The Investigator. I'm sure it would make a very interesting story. Lily grinned. Believe me, Miss Becker, it will. The end. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's book reading of The Applesauce Bandit. As always, please stay tuned for Eileen's video on Monday. And I also have put the link to the New York Ag in the Classroom website right there. I've got the packet in front of me, so this packet just has a bunch of different activities that you guys can do at home. So you can go to this website and you can get them, or if you would like me to scan and email you copies, I can do that as well. So it goes through some background information about apples, from seed to tree to your plate, how applesauce is made. There are just a bunch of different activities in here, a few coloring pages, some information about New York and where we rank with apples, as you learned from the book. Some writing activities, and then just some other activities that you can do at home, like planting apple trees or growing apple trees from seeds. So if you have any questions, as always, please email me. My email address is down at the bottom, as well as Eileen's. And I will see you guys next week for Ag Literacy once again. Thanks, guys, and have a great weekend. Bye.